Activity Quest, the podcast that's packed with stuff to do. This week, it's the start of spring and Meg's gone twitching. That's another word for bird watching. Dan's here. He's teaching us how to make a bird feeder. And Adam's giving us events from across the UK. My name is Bex, and every episode of Activity Quest starts with a Fun Kids presenter doing something awesome. Today, Meg has gone twitching. That means bird watching. But before that, can you guess what this is? Do you know which bird that is? Here's a clue. It shares a name with a Fun Kids presenter. All right, in the meantime, while you have a little think, Meg, over to you. We'll find out the name of that bird in just a bit.
Here at Fun Kids, we love nature. We can find nature all around us, for example, by listening to birds in our local park. The great thing about this activity is you can do it anywhere in the country. In fact, you can do it anywhere in the world. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to identify different birds using their bird song. You can hear around me so many different beautiful sounds. There's quite a lot of birds in this park. I think I've come early in the morning, which is a really good time to hear birds, or as the sun sets, before they get up and before they go to bed. They tend to be the loudest. Now I'm trying to pick out a few different sounds and try and get you to hear this one in particular. Can you hear this one? The first notes are higher in pitch and then they close with a longer shimmer. This is the sound of a blue tit, a small bird that is really colourful. It is a mix of blue, white, yellow and green, which makes it really easy to recognise. They love to eat everything from caterpillars to seeds and nuts. There's also another bird that I can hear. Now, I'm used to hearing these all the time. They wake me up in the morning. They are so loud. I wonder if you've ever woken up early and heard these birds. They are some of the loudest birds that we hear in our cities and even our towns and even our villages. They are very, very common. It's a wood pigeon. They sound a lot lower than blue tits. Wood pigeons are really common, so it's likely you'll hear them now if you go out into a park and you know what you're listening for. Can you hear any other birds? So we know that some of these sounds are wood pigeons and we know that some of them are blue tits. But this one is really beautiful, if a little bit squeaky. It's actually a blackbird. Now, you've probably heard of a blackbird before. Male blackbirds, as the name suggests, are black. However, female blackbirds, which are the ones that I've actually spotted here, the ones that you can hear, are brown with spots. Blackbirds have bright orange beaks and they are very, very common. So if you have a garden, you might see them trying to pick insects and wriggly worms out of the grass. Now, there's one more bird that I can hear. Their song can last over a minute, and I love how this bird's song is a little bit odd. It's not really as melodic as the other birds we've heard. Some people even think it sounds electronic. What do you think? This is the sound of a starling. Now the starling is very clever and it can copy the sounds of other birds. This is called mimicry. Starlings travel in big groups, and if you look into the distance when you see starlings, they kind of look like a cloud of dust. They all fly together and make these beautiful shapes in the sky. When you look closely at a starling, they're not actually black at all. They're very glossy, and they have these shimmery purples and greens in their feathers. There are so many more birds you can identify, from sparrows to magpies, and a great tool to help you identify birds is the RSPB website. They have this area where they've created a birdsong ID playlist with some common birds you find in and around your garden or your local area. I used it before I headed out to learn about different birds, and you can compare the sounds you hear when you listen out for birds. Bex, can you give us the clue for the bird you asked us to identify again?
Thanks, Meg. There's that bird again! Did you guess? It shares the name of a Fun Kids presenter, so it's not a Dan, it's not a Connor, it's a Robin! I think that was probably pretty easy, but well done if you did get the answer. Remember, whatever you do, whether it's birdwatching or something else entirely, we want to know. You can leave us a 5-star review wherever it is you're listening to this, or get in touch at funkidslive.com/activityquest. Now, Adam, let's find out what's happening elsewhere across the UK, shall we?
Explore the sights and sounds of Africa and discover lions, giraffes, meerkats and more in Africa Alive. It's in Suffolk. The centrepiece is the Plains of Africa, a perfect place to spot 5 species of African savanna animals. You can also enjoy a bird's eye view of the lions from the Viewing Point Lookout Lodge and visit lemur encounters, where you will walk right through the lemur's enclosure. The park is set in 100 acres of stunning Suffolk countryside. Bird lovers can also enjoy a spot of native nature too. Africa-alive.co.uk is the place to find out more. Piglet's Adventure Farm is in North Yorkshire. Follow the farmyard trail to meet goats, cows, donkeys and of course plenty of pigs. Make sure to stop by the Piglet Maternity Ward to see expectant mums and their piglets too. You can also try your hand at mini golf and search for hidden fairy houses on the Fairy Trail. See what they did there? Fairy trail. Plus, splash through rock pools, climb truffles, lifeguard tower, and relax in the giant hammock at the beach. That's all included in your ticket. They're opening March 26th. Pigletsadventurefarm.com is the place to find out more. And hit the high notes on 60 jaw-dropping rides and attractions, including Tidal Wave, The Twister, and Maximus. Explore over 75,000 square foot of indoor play, then introduce them to the locals. Discover Jungle Journey, home to a range of exotic animals from all around the world. And don't forget to meet everyone's favourite residents at Meerkat Manor. All of this is happening at Creeley Theme Park and Resort in Devon, creeley.co.uk. The new Ultimate So Inspo magazine is full of inspo to get you ready for spring. You'll find some dreamy springtime buys for your bedroom, colourful fashion pieces to brighten your mood, and some fitness advice to give you the feel-good factor. Create your very own slime in 4 simple steps and make your own doodle diary to store all of your secrets in. Plus, 2 lucky winners will win a haul from JD Sports. That's the new Ultimate So Inspo magazine, and it's out this Wednesday.
Thanks, Adam. Now, earlier in the show, we found out how to birdwatch, but what if you need a way to attract those birds to you? Well, Dan's here, making a bird feeder.
One way to spot more birds and hear more bird song is to make a bird feeder. Now, we're into the first few days of spring, but it's still quite cold. And when it's cold, birds need high energy, high fat food. This is because any extra fat helps the birds stay warm, and it means that they can use their body fat if they struggle to find food and survive. It kind of keeps them going when they can struggle to find other things to eat. Now, one of the ingredients that we're using to make our bird feeder is peanut butter, because it's really high in fat. If you don't want to use peanut butter, maybe you have an allergy or you just don't like it, you can also use lard. Although it's not as nice with jam on toast if you want a post-activity making snack. Now, to make your bird feeder, you'll need an empty tube. This could be the middle of a kitchen roll or a 20cm section cut out from a wrapping paper tube, the bit in the middle. You'll need bird sing, you'll need that peanut butter or the lard, you'll need 2 lolly sticks and some string. You'll also need scissors, a tray and a spoon. And as always, when we're fiddling about with scissors, make sure you've got a parent or a guardian, a grown-up nearby that can help you out. First up, you take the empty tube and carefully cut 2 pairs of slits in it. You want the slits to be big enough to poke through the lolly sticks. Make sure the lolly sticks lie flat when the roll is standing up. These are going to be where the birds can perch while nibbling at their feeder, so we want them to be able to stand on them without falling off. And now we get to the fun bit. You've got your tube with the 2 lolly sticks, kind of balancing, one at either end. Now this can be a messy bit, which always makes it extra fun. Get a spoon of peanut butter and you slather the tube in the peanut butter until there is a layer all over it. If you're finding the peanut butter is a bit too stiff, try using a spoon that's been dipped in hot water, or you can warm up the peanut butter for a few seconds to make it more spreadable. But be careful, it's kind of a fine line. You don't want it to be too runny because then it won't stick to anything. Now, once the tube is covered in peanut butter, pour some birdseed into a tray or on a plate and roll the tube in the seed so it sticks to all of the peanut butter. So then after this, you'll get your tube, your cardboard tube, covered in peanut butter that's coated in some bird feed. Now, best to put your bird feeder somewhere for birds to eat them. You might want to add some string and hang it from a tree. When I last made this bird feeder, I also got a peanut butter loving squirrel coming to the feeder. I'm not sure how I feel about that squirrel nicking all the birds' food, but it was lovely just to see them all outside in the wild in their home in the garden. If you're able to regularly feed birds, then you will notice, you will start to pick up, they are very smart and they come back and check for food. And if you've not topped it up, those birds, they can get a little bit annoyed. They get bothered, do the birds. So there's so much to keep you busy there making your bird feeder. Really simple, you don't need a lot, it doesn't take a long time. Just make sure you've got a grown-up somewhere nearby. And let us know if any birds come to your garden this spring to try your peanut butter bird feeder. And remember, you can find all the instructions to make your own over at funkidslive.com.
I'm going to try that out at home. Thanks, Dan. I know what I'm doing with my week now. I am looking for birds and I am enticing them into my garden with a bird feeder. Keep those eyes to the skies. That's my new catchphrase. Remember, there are loads of episodes of Activity Quest that you can go back and listen to any time. If you're after some more suggestions, just scroll back in your podcast app and pick an episode you fancy. Whatever you do and however you do it, tell us at funkidslive.com/activityquest. And remember to rate, review and follow this podcast wherever it is you're listening to it. I'm Bex, and this has been a podcast from the UK's children's radio station, Fun Kids. Listen to me on your DAB digital radio, online, on the free Fun Kids mobile app and on your smart speaker. Just say, play Fun Kids every weekday from 4pm. See ya!